How long is the MCAT? This notorious test keeps many aspiring medical school students up at night. Fortunately, the length and structure of the MCAT is consistent, allowing you to prepare your MCAT study schedule and use full-length practice tests to get used to the format. You've heard about the challenging length of the exam, but how long is each MCAT section? How much time can you spend on each question? And how long will it take you to complete the test from start to finish? This video provides a detailed answer to how long is the MCAT and includes a thorough section-by-section breakdown. Hi, my name is Joseph Kafka, and I'm an admissions associate here at BeMo. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe on whatever social media channel you're watching this from now so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. If you would like us to help you ace the MCAT, go to BeMoMCAT.com to schedule your free initial consultation. And as a quick tip, check out the timestamps in the description of this video to navigate the specific sections of the video that you're interested in. Here's how we're going to answer the question, how long is the MCAT? How many MCAT sections are there and what content do they cover? Chemical and physical foundations of biological systems, critical analysis and reasoning skills, biological and biochemical foundations of living systems, psychological, social, and biological foundations of behavior. How many questions are in each MCAT section? A breakdown of the number and type of questions in each MCAT section. MCAT test day timeline. How to prepare for the length of the test day. And final thoughts. The MCAT is an interdisciplinary exam that contains a total of 230 questions covering varied subjects over the span of 4 sections. The main subjects tested include general and organic chemistry, physics, biology, biochemistry, psychology, sociology, and critical reasoning skills important for the daily work of a physician. To get a good MCAT score, you'll need a solid knowledge base in these content areas. But remember that the MCAT is not about memorization. According to the AAMC, in addition to testing your content knowledge, the MCAT will also test your understanding of basic research methods, statistics, concepts, and will require you to demonstrate scientific inquiry and reasoning skills. Each section of the MCAT is passage-based and tests for a deep understanding of the mechanisms behind the content you have learned and the psychological complexities of your future patients, as well as your ability to pull relevant information from a list of data. The 230 questions on the MCAT are divided amongst 4 sections, with each section designed to have a certain ratio of questions on each academic discipline or subtopic. For example, in each version of the MCAT, the CARS section is designed to contain 30% of its questions based on the foundations of comprehension. While the questions themselves vary from MCAT to MCAT, the ratio of questions per academic discipline does not change. Here's a breakdown of the academic disciplines included in each MCAT section. The ratio of academic disciplines tested in this section include the following: 25% first semester biochemistry, 5% introductory biology, 30% general chemistry, 15% organic chemistry, and 25% introductory physics. Chemical and physical foundations of biological systems is the first section on the MCAT, and that makes it particularly intimidating. Practice is your best friend. Ensure that you have the confidence needed to immediately focus on the test and get to work on this first section. You will not have a calculator during the MCAT, so it is important to prepare for the MCAT without a calculator. This way, you will build up your skill and speed in doing mental calculations for the actual test. The ratio of academic disciplines tested in this section include the following: 30% foundations of comprehension. Do you understand the main ideas in the passage? 30% reasoning within the text. Do you understand the relationship between ideas within the passage? 40% reasoning beyond the text. Can you relate ideas in the passage to new pieces of information? CARS passages are infamously difficult. This MCAT section can really slow you down on test day if you do not prepare for it sufficiently. Oftentimes, students asking how hard is the MCAT are really asking how hard is the CARS section. While content review truly helps you prepare for other MCAT sections, going over your notes and textbooks will not help you get ready for CARS. but there are certain practices you can implement to get good at cars. First, it is important to read challenging texts throughout your MCAT preparation to build up your reading speed and comprehension skills. Second, you must develop a strong MCAT car strategy when you go over practice passages. Keep in mind that cars prep takes a lot of time and patience, so start reading challenging materials and going over practice questions as early as you can. The ratio of academic disciplines tested in this section include the following: 65% introductory biology, 5% general chemistry, 5% organic chemistry, and 25% first semester biochemistry. The ratio of academic disciplines tested in this section include the following: 65% introductory psychology, 30% introductory sociology, and 5% introductory biology. For a comprehensive look at the academic disciplines covered within each section of the MCAT, refer to the AAMC's guide, What's on the MCAT Exam. As you might have noticed from our breakdown, there is some overlap between the academic disciplines covered in the 4 MCAT sections. On test day, you can expect approximately 15 physics questions, 30 biochemistry questions, 45 biology questions, 20 general chemistry, 11 organic chemistry questions, 38 psychology questions, 18 sociology questions, and 53 cars questions. There's a lot of mystery surrounding the MCAT, so you might be wondering what is the best way to get a feel for each MCAT section and understand the type of content covered in each section. The best way to do this is to take a full-length MCAT diagnostic test before diving into your MCAT preparations. This way, you get to see what you're up against and learn where to focus your time in the review-heavy phase of your studying. Additionally, have a look at our blog to learn when to start studying for the MCAT. As you get into the practice phase of your MCAT preparations, take several full-length practice MCAT exams to ensure that you are well-versed with the format by test day. Gradually build up your test-taking endurance to guarantee that you are mentally prepared for the duration of the MCAT exam. Each MCAT section has 53 to 59 questions. The average value of each question is around 2 points. Most questions on the MCAT are passage-based, while some are discrete questions. Passage-based questions follow a passage describing a scientific situation, while discrete questions do not relate to a passage and directly test your scientific knowledge. Sections with both types of questions will have clusters of 2 to 3 passages with corresponding passage-based questions, followed by 3 to 4 discrete questions. Here's a breakdown of the number and type of questions in each MCAT section. Chemical and Physical Foundations of Biological Systems has 59 questions, 44 of which are passage-based and 15 of which are discrete questions. Critical Analysis and Reasoning Skills has 53 questions, all of which are passage-based. 50% of the passages will have humanities content, while the other 50% will refer to social sciences. While there are fewer questions in the cars section, the passages within this section tend to be longer. Biological and Biochemical Foundations of Living Systems has 59 questions, 44 of which are passage-based and 15 of which are discrete questions. Psychological, Social, and Biological Foundations of Behavior has 59 questions, 44 of which are passage-based and 15 of which are discrete questions. Altogether, the MCAT has 230 questions, 185 of which are passage-based, that's 80%, and 45 of which are discrete questions, that's 20%. The MCAT asks a lot of questions in a short amount of time, resulting in students struggling to finish some sections of the exam. Which sections do students find the most challenging to complete in the allotted time? Most test takers find the Chemical and Physical Foundations of Biological Systems section and the Critical Analysis and Reasoning Skills section most challenging to complete in time. If you find yourself running out of time, remember that wrong answers will not count against your score, so aim to fill in an answer for every question, even if you need to make an educated guess. Now that we've gone over exactly what sections are on the MCAT and what content is covered in each section, let's review how long will it take you to complete the MCAT on test day. The MCAT is taken in one day, unlike the multi-day exams you will take later in medical school. The testing time for the MCAT is 6 hours and 15 minutes. The total seated time for the MCAT is just over 7.5 hours for students that use the optional breaks between sections. Undeniably, the grueling length of the MCAT makes it a challenge. Let's break it down a bit further. On exam day, you will complete each section of the MCAT in the following order: chemical and physical foundations of biological systems, critical analysis and reasoning skills, biological and biochemical foundations of living systems, and lastly, psychological, social, and biological foundations of behavior. Most sections are 95 minutes in duration, except CARS, which is 90 minutes long. Because the MCAT is a computer-based test and the computer keeps track of your time, you do have the option to submit a section before the time runs out, creating the possibility to complete the test in less time. Submitting a section early does not mean that you can take a longer break before the next section. It just allows you to move on to the next section sooner. So what about the breaks? After the first section, chemical and physical foundations of biological systems, you'll have an optional 10-minute break followed by the CARS section. Then you'll have an optional 30-minute mid-exam break to regroup and eat lunch. After lunch, you'll complete the biological and biochemical foundations of living systems section, followed by another optional 10-minute break, and the last section, psychological, social, and biological foundations of behavior. Feel free to check out our blog for a detailed table outlining the length of each section and step for your test. Your MCAT day, from the moment you wake up to when you walk out of the testing center, can easily be 9 or 10 hours long, depending on how far you live from the testing center and how long your morning routine is. Before you leave your house in the morning, take the time to pack your government-issued identification and enough snacks and water for your breaks to provide the energy and focus you'll need to test for over 7 hours. Test takers will generally begin their MCAT between 7:45 a.m. and 8:15 a.m. Once you arrive at the testing center, you'll spend about 30 minutes getting checked in and putting your belongings in a locker. You'll then be escorted to a cubicle and provided with noise-canceling headphones if you wish to use them. Then it's off to the races. You must prepare and train yourself for the MCAT's length. Your test-taking strategies will be designed based on how long and tiring the exam is. So let's review some of the tactics you can use to increase endurance. First of all, when you take the full-length practice exams, try scheduling them around the same time as your allotted slot for the MCAT. So if your MCAT test date is scheduled for 7:30 a.m., make sure to start your practice exams at 7:30 a.m. If your MCAT is scheduled for 3 p.m., then start your practice tests at 3 p.m. Make sure to follow the MCAT test day breakdown and time all the sections and breaks. Simply put, recreate the timeline and the environment of the actual exam. Pay attention to how you feel while you are taking the practice exams. Notice when you get tired and when you need a snack. The more full-length tests you take, the more your stamina will grow. Additionally, you'll habituate yourself to forestall fatigue and hunger until your allotted breaks. Remember, in the second phase of your MCAT prep, such as the practice phase, most of your MCAT prep will involve practice questions and full-length tests. Take advantage of this time to sync your personal test-taking schedule with the test day schedule. Additionally, a few weeks before your MCAT test date, start going to bed at the same time you would on the day before you take the actual MCAT, and wake up at the same time you would on test day. This way, your sleeping pattern and eating schedule will not be out of the ordinary on the day you take the exam. Your body and mind will endure the MCAT day much better with practice, because practice will allow you to get used to this timeline. While preparing for the MCAT, do not forget about your physical and mental health. Make sure to exercise regularly and eat healthy meals. On the day before the exam and the morning of, do not eat anything unusual for your diet. Stick to what you know and make sure to eat a good healthy breakfast or lunch. You know your routine and schedule best. While most students tend to schedule their MCAT for the morning, plan your test for the time that is most fitting for you. Perhaps you're not a morning person, or it takes you hours to get up, or you know that your test-taking potential is better later in the day. Every person is unique. Make sure to take into account your own strengths when scheduling the exam. If you are committed to pursuing a career in medicine, it is time to start taking the necessary steps to make that dream a reality. While there are some medical schools that don't require the MCAT, most do. A competitive MCAT score will help put you on the shortlist for an interview at your dream medical school. In understanding the length of the MCAT and how your time will be divided on test day, you've taken the first step in ensuring that you walk into your MCAT comfortable with the format and ready to ace the test. This wraps up our video for today. Check out our blog to learn more about how long is the MCAT, including frequently asked questions and more. I've included a link in the description of this video so you can find it easily. If you would like us to help you ace the MCAT, go to BeMoMCAT.com to schedule your free initial consultation. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. If you have any questions about how long is the MCAT that I didn't cover in this video, let me know in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.